I made these animations, a full app design and a pitch deck in 10 minutes, no code, no Figma, no designer, just Claude design. But here is the thing nobody is talking about. While creators are falling in love with these tools, Anthropic is quietly pulling back access. Limits are getting tighter, pricing is shifting, and it's starting to look like the consumer side isn't where the real money is anymore. And a $33 billion from Amazon might explain why. So in this video I will show you exactly what I built with Claude design, what is exactly going on behind the scenes, and why this week might be the most important week in AI this year. Let's break it down. First of all, I didn't expect that the AI industry will be evolving so quickly. We can see new tools, new models dropping every single day, and Anthropic is leading with this trend, but they are also shaping this trend as well. So here is an official website where they announced Claude design, and it's actually quite good. I made a few projects with that, so let me just show you these projects, but then I will show you the underlying problem and something that it's not a great news, but it needs to be told so we know where we are in the whole AI industry. So my rule is simple. When I test a tool or a project, I want to see what I can get with the least amount of time and with just one prompt or one attempt to create something. So it was the same here. So I just wanted to make an animated video for Claude design using the content below, those content from the original website, and it should be short, to the point, and just showcase the promotion. What you can see here, it's very simple. It's nothing extraordinary. It's not screaming, oh my God, I spent $500 to create this kind of animation. But if you would like to do this by yourself, you would need to spend, let's say, 2 or 3 hours just to designing all of that. So this is the part that most people don't understand. These tools, they speed up the whole process. They will not create a masterpiece without your involvement. So when you see all these designs here, this is just the first step. AI creates it for you, but then you need to take it and shape it into something even better. So I will show you what I mean in a second, but nevertheless, this is the first attempt, just one prompt, nothing more. It looks alright in my opinion. It's not, as I said, perfect, but it's good enough, like a prototype. Then I want to create a school promotion for my school community basically. And I gave Claude design all the information it needed. So generate a landing page promoting my school community. Here's a content and a graphic of the community. So here is obviously what the community is about, and I gave it only this one graphic, and it made this whole website for me. And in my opinion, it looks great because we can see we have simple animations, but they work and everything is coherent. So for example, this small coin here, in my opinion, looks good. The small details, like for example, this small animation here, it is exactly what makes an animation look good in 2026. It's not about being flashy, but it's about small details that are taken to the next level. We can see this graphic and this flowing boxes here. Again, minimalistic, but it sells the point. It shouldn't look like, I don't know, a Hollywood movie, because this is not what works in 2026. Again, some tools that I was testing on in my community. So we have Midjourney, Runway, Gemini, 11 Labs, stuff like that. Again, very nice showcase. Not a random course. So again, what we talk about in this community, it also has the hover effect when you just hover over it. So it's nice. Then we have who is it for and who it's not for. Then we have some news, tool drops, basically monetization, things like that, leaderboards. And then we also have tiers. So there is a free tier and paid tier. So if you would like to get access, you can join for free. Again, this is real thing, and there is also an option to level up to get more support, more tools, and basically monetize your idea. So this is how my community really looks like, and it's great. If you would like to do it by yourself, it will take you probably a few days, because you have first the design, then obviously all the text, all the copywriting, then all the animations. So now instead of just sitting and doing it for, let's say, for 2 or 3 days, you can do it in 10 minutes or maybe 5 minutes. I just gave it the information about my community and this one graphic. And based on that, it created a full landing page for me. So this is really, really great. All these animations, now you just need to deploy it and you have a full functioning website. Make sure that it leads to your community or to your whatever you're selling, and that's it. So this is in my opinion really good. To be honest, this school promotion is probably my favorite project because it's, well, something that is related to my project, but there are also other projects. For example, there is this fitness app. So there is obviously the UI, so just the visuals. It's not fully functioning app, but now we have the mockup, what it should look like. And someone asked me in the comment section below how to bring it all to life. So all you have to do is now to download this UI and then upload it to Claude Code or any other tool that can create code, and it will create an app that looks like that. So this is how you start. If you really want to do it in Claude Design, you generate your app, and then you just take it to any application that you can code, and then you can create it there. Or obviously you can do it even better and hire a professional software developer, and he will do much better job, but it will cost you more. So this is the thing about AI, it's just cheaper, but it won't be as good as human output. So this is, again, the app, in my opinion, looks good. You have all the important metrics here. And when you give something like that to AI or to software developer, they will know exactly what you expect, what it should look like. So it's much easier for them to create the job that you really want, instead of just having 20 revisions or 50 revisions and pay for hourly for all your projects. Here is also another animation that I made for one of my clients. And this is a simple animation that shows lifespan versus health span. And as you can see, lifespan 85 and health span, which is basically the difference between how long you are actually living and how long you are healthy, or how long you are capable of living by yourself without any extra help. And here is the whole gap that we are trying to fulfill with his knowledge. This, in my opinion, is a very nice visual, but you need to take it to the next level. So to take it to the next level, you can use CapCut, or for example, Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere, and then you can also animate it further. So for example, you can add angles, stuff like that, and it will work much, much better. And this is what I mean. As you can see, I just added an angle here, just to add a little bit more movement here and make it a little bit more like 2026 design. Still, we can see all this animation here, but it's just a little bit more animated. So the whole point here is to save you a lot of time. Again, to make this animation, it will take you 1 hour, 2 hours, but I made it in 5 minutes. Then add the final animation, send it to my client, and that's pretty much it. They also made this interactive globe here, so we can see all flights across the world. We have, for example, we have from JFK from New York to Frankfurt in Germany, and we can see all these flights when they are happening. And let me tell you this, if you can deploy this kind of application for airlines, they will be happy to pay you, because this is much better than 99% of all these websites where you can check flights, because you can actually see what is going on. It's shown in a nice way. So now you can just try to sell it to, let's say, airlines or companies that are basically selling tickets or finding the best deals. And the last thing I want to show you is the video loop I made. So this is my background that I'm using on YouTube and I'm using on my school community, and I wanted to animate it a little bit more so I can use it in my videos, or for example, I want to showcase a comment, I can just showcase the comment here, but background is still animated. So it's great because I just said create an animation and use this image here, which is basically my background, and it should be a perfect loop, and it is a perfect loop. I can pick how long or short this loop should be, so it might be 18 seconds, it might be 31 seconds. So you can just change it, and then you can also change cloud drift, chip dice boop, and also chip tilt. Project would take me probably around 1 or 2 hours, because I need to cut out all these parts first, then I need to animate them separately, make sure that they are smooth. So I know if you've never animated anything, it doesn't look like something spectacular, but once you start animating, editing videos, and start doing all those things, you'll realize how much time it takes to create all of that. So now you can just do it faster, and you don't need to hire, let's say, 5 people. You can just have, let's say, you, one assistant, and support yourself with AI tools, and you'll get better results faster for your clients. But that's only one part. Cloud design is great, but we already see huge limits on that, and I will show you what I mean. I can just name a random project, and then I will just write whatever I want to see. Can you generate a quick video for me? And what you will see right now is that I will not be able to generate anything. So today is April 23rd, and I cannot generate anything until April 25. So I didn't see this limit before. I don't have limit on my Claude, but I have limit on Claude Design because it has separate limit right now. It's not something that I was expecting that will happen so fast. I expected that it would happen a little bit later, but I see certain trend with Anthropic and what they try to do in 2026. So we can see that in 2026, global AI industries are changing. So they are not really looking to fight with one another and just be one of the best AI tools in the industry, but now they think about monetization, which in my opinion is a smart choice because most of the AI companies are losing money. And Anthropic just shows that they know how to play the game. So they know how to use marketing and they know how to get money for their projects as well. So here is a very nice graph that shows that Salesforce needed 24 years to get to the level where Anthropic got in just 5 years. So they know how to monetize and how to make money from basically their tools. And here is where the bad news starts. Because I've been in the industry for, let's say, the last 10 years, and I see a big difference when you're working with B2C or with consumers and with B2B or businesses. So when you're working with businesses, you usually have high margins. Businesses pay for solutions, and this is a great story. However, if you're working with B2C, which is consumers, people just, for example, use AI on a daily basis, they usually don't pay much. So you need to spend a lot of money just to keep the infrastructure going, but you're not making much money from it. And this here is probably the biggest reason why they need to do it, because training those models and keep them running cost a lot of money, and it's in billions of dollars, as you can see. So here we have projections, and here is what Anthropic is costing every single year just to keep working. We can see that we are getting closer to $25 billion annually just to get Anthropic going. So it's a lot of money just to keep an app going, right? Can you imagine that you want to run a business and your business costs you $25 billion just to serve customers? The amount of money is huge, so you need to have good monetization methods, otherwise you would just run out of money quite quickly. And because of that, Claude is removing certain things. For example, Claude is trying to remove Claude Code from the Pro plan. So right now, if you have Pro plan, you can use Claude Code without any problem, but if you would like to get a new plan and you are a free user, now probably you will not be able to use Claude Code anymore. And it's exactly the same reason. The people that are paying the least are the most problematic because they are using everything to the limit, but they are not bringing much in return. While if you have a business, and let's say business is paying you $1 million, it's higher margins for you and more money as well. And let's say you have one business and you are serving them with your solution and they are paying you $1 million. And now let's say you have 10,000 customers that are paying you just pennies, and all of them can be complaining. Some of them can be canceling their subscriptions. So it's much more difficult to manage all these people while you can just manage your relationship with just one business. And here is the proof that Anthropic is really focusing on B2B market more than in B2C, which is basically, again, business market, because Anthropic launches B2B marketplace for enterprise AI applications. So I don't want to get into details, but again, this shows that money is not in consumers, but money are in businesses. That's why we can see those things happening. So again, we don't see Claude Code anymore in free or in Pro plan, but only in Max plan. So again, it was a small test on 2% of new customer signups, but it is changing. And you can expect that they will limit those features even further because again, they need to be profitable. And in order to be profitable, they need to optimize for revenue, not really for signups that are free. Free works only if the thing that you're producing or giving to people doesn't cost you money. So for example, PDFs, sometimes courses, sometimes videos, these things are relatively cheap or free. However, if you are giving real resources to people, you cannot give it for free for a long time because you run out of money. So this is exactly what Claude is doing here. So if you really want to code something and have access to Claude Code, make sure to use it. Obviously, there will be some other apps as well, but I believe this is where the whole industry will be heading because monetization right now is more important than just having a whole bunch of users that don't pay you anything. And here is another proof that even people with max plans are getting their plans reduced since Claude 4.6 release. And here is again the impact. So he was paying $200 per month. This is not really casual subscription, but if you optimize for top 1% of clients, it basically means that you need to cut out everything that is not profitable. So probably they decided that even $200 per month is not enough for them, or that the profit margins are not good enough for them. And that leads us to the next part, which is basically Anthropic and Amazon that are expanding their collaboration. So we all know that the biggest problem with AI is that we don't have enough computing power in order to support AI with everyday tasks. Every time when you go and ask AI, why do I feel bad today? This actually costs this company money. So in order to answer all these weird questions, they need to spend money on it. So they need more computing power, and this is probably showing you where the whole industry is going. Obviously, Anthropic and Amazon have been working with each other for quite some time, and this shows that Amazon is seeing huge potential in Anthropic, so they are investing 25 more billion in Anthropic, or in total up to $33 billion. And this deal seems to be beneficial to both sides because this deal includes $5 billion invested immediately in Anthropic's current valuation, with up to $20 billion more tied to commercial milestones. Part of this agreement, Anthropic will direct over $100 billion toward Amazon Web Services technologies across the next decade. And it just shows that no consumer is provide Anthropic or any other AI company with the things that, for example, Amazon or other businesses are able to provide these companies with. And here is a perfect proof showing where the money comes from. So the money isn't coming from consumers, but it's coming from businesses. And you can see it here. The number of enterprise clients spending at least $1 million annually has more than doubled since February, crossing 1,000 customers, and paid consumer subscriptions has risen as well. However, you can see that paid consumer subscription is not really a tangible number. So we don't have any specific number on that, but we have a specific number on businesses. So it shows what is more important and what they are actually calculating. And let's shift from Anthropic and Claude to OpenAI because they are introducing advertising in ChatGPT. And I know many people will be very unhappy with this information, but again, for me, it's a great thing. And if you are running a business or you are looking to run any business in the future, then it's also great news for you, but I will explain in a second. Here is the whole approach, what they think about it, what are the main principles, their mission, and also what these ads might look like. So for example, you're asking a question about something, and then you have a sponsored version at the bottom. So it's quite obvious that this part is sponsored, your original response from ChatGPT, and also ads here. So this is one example. Here we have a few more. In my opinion, it's quite obvious and it looks good. And it's very important to understand why is it happening. So part of it I already explained, right? They need money and they need to be profitable. They are not profitable if they are, just letting consumers use their apps. So in the AI space, on the AI world, I see only two paths that can lead to profitable projects. First, you have enough users to sustain yourself from ads and deals. So basically, people that are using those apps for free will be a product, right? It was the same with Facebook. Like, what is a product on Facebook? We are the product of Facebook because Facebook has a lot of users. So now if there is someone who wants to advertise on Facebook, they are reaching out to us and we are basically the product because we can get them our information. We can visit the website, buy products, stuff like that. But this is only true for people that don't want to spend money. If you want to spend money, then, well, you have paid plans and you don't need to be, and then you will not see any ads whatsoever. And this is one path. And I believe this is a path that OpenAI will be using because they are openly talking about it. Or the second model is what Anthropic is focusing on and is basically working with B2B businesses and with enterprises and limit access to, let's say, consumers. And both of these approaches work. They're just slightly different. For example, the second approach will work even if you have very small audience and you don't have a big business. However, the first approach will only work if you have a lot of users. So for example, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, any platform like that will work with this approach. So in my opinion, ChatGPT or OpenAI can use this approach because they have a lot of users. And to be honest, Claude can use even this approach as well because they have still a lot of users. So maybe they will introduce it in the future as well. We will see. I'm not sure about it yet. It seems like Anthropic is focusing more on businesses while OpenAI tries to be more consumer friendly rather than just business friendly. And now you might ask, why is it a good thing? Why seeing ads in ChatGPT is a good thing? Because you have an option to advertise your products there. And if you run any kind of business, you know that any form of traffic is great. If you create content, this is one form of traffic. If you send cold DMs, cold emails, cold calls, this is another form of traffic. If you're using ads, this is another form of traffic. So every kind of traffic that is targeted is good. Meta ads has been working great for years for many creators. It was working well for me, for my print-on-demand shop, for my digital products. So this is one thing. And now, in my opinion, OpenAI and ChatGPT can be even better than Google Ads because they will give you personalized answers. And then even ChatGPT possibly will be able to tailor it a little bit to a product that you are selling. So let's say ChatGPT will give them an answer, and then at the end, when they consume the value, they will be straight linked to just buy your product. And now instead of you selling to people, in my opinion, ChatGPT can sell to people. But what is really selling? Selling is not telling people, oh, you should buy this, you must buy this. But selling is showing them value first. So let's say ChatGPT gives this value, even without promoting your product. And then at the end, there's your product. So this will create a very good environment for selling pretty much all digital products, physical products, services. you name it. So I'm quite happy to see that they will do it and it will help them improve their services even further. So OpenAI, in my opinion, will become very similar to Facebook. Obviously, some people say that it's more like Google Ads, not necessarily Meta Ads. But in my opinion, this is more than just Google Ads and more than Meta Ads. It's a combination of both. So this will be much better in my opinion. So I'm quite happy to see it. I know some people will be unhappy because they don't want to see ads, but they don't understand how businesses work and businesses need to make money. So this week was very excited for AI news. Obviously, there was even more happening. So if you would like to see more videos and more AI news breakdowns or how I actually used Claude Design to generate all these designs, make sure to watch this video you can see on the screen right now. Thank you for watching and I will see you in the next one.